Hi friends, it's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to this week's What's for Dinner. If you're new here, I'd love if you would hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. And don't forget to leave a like or comment down below because it really does help my channel. And this week I've got 6 meals for you. I do show you a 7th really quickly. It's just because we went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. So I quickly showed you what we ate there. And my favorite meal of this week is going to be the pesto chicken. It's so delicious and very quick to throw together, so it can look like a fancy meal if you need to like come up with something really quick, but super easy. So let's just get started. I'm going to be starting off by taking 8 ounces of cream cheese that has softened. Mine wasn't completely softened, but I'm going to combine it with 1/3 cup of basil pesto here, and because it wasn't completely softened, I just kind of stuck it in the microwave for like 10 to 15 second increments until it was soft enough for me to go ahead and combine that together. So you're just going to really go ahead and just stir that all together to get those 2 ingredients combined. And then I'm taking my large baking dish here, and I'm going to go ahead and spritz that with a little bit of cooking oil. And I'm taking 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, which for me was about 3 chicken breasts worth, and I'm just placing those on the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and season them. Even though the recipe that I'll have linked for you doesn't call for any seasonings, I'm going to add some like garlic parmesan seasoning and salt and some Italian seasoning, and I am doing that to both sides. On the other side, I don't believe I put salt. I was just a little worried that some like the pesto and all that might become a little bit too much like salt for this dish, so I just skipped out on that side. It ended up being fine. And then you're just going to go ahead and spoon that cream cheese and pesto mixture on top of your chicken, and then just spread that out into an even layer covering the tops of all your chicken breasts. I just use the back of my spoon to go ahead and do that. Then I'm just topping that off with some mozzarella cheese. I'm just using whatever amount I had left in this like bag of shredded mozzarella. So just use what your preference is for that. And I went ahead and baked this at 375 degrees for about 40 minutes. You just want to check that. I always check with my meat thermometer for an internal temperature of 165 for chicken. And I got it nice and browned on top because that's just how I like the cheese. If you don't like it that brown and your chicken isn't quite cooked, you can always cover that with some foil to stop that browning of your cheese. I serve this up with some this is the Cracker Barrel white cheddar mac and cheese and just a Caesar salad. This was absolutely delicious. So much flavor from that pesto and cream cheese. This is definitely a hit for us, and we'll be adding it into our rotation from now on. For this night, we just wanted a quick option while watching some football, so I just made up one of our favorite like frozen pizzas. This is just the Albertsons brand of pizza. If you have a Vons or Safeway, it is the Signature Select brand, and this is like a double pepperoni one. And I just put that with some ranch and some baby carrots, and it was simple and delicious. I was craving some zucchini, so I'm just going to go ahead and spear up some zucchini here. This is a preference. If you're doing this, you can do it into smaller or thicker spears. That's just going to affect your cooking time a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and drizzle some avocado oil on those. I give them all a good toss so that they're coated with the oil, and I'm just going to season those with some Kinder's The Blend, as well as some garlic parmesan seasoning and some of this smoky truffle seasoning. I'm putting this all in my air fryer basket and just spreading it out so it's a little bit into an even layer, and I'm air frying that at 375 degrees, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. That will just depend on how tender you want your zucchini. I got some of these chicken meatballs from Target for a really great price. I think they're actually still in the Target app for 60% off, and they're pretty good, so if you can get those, you should go ahead and get them. They have a lot of good flavor. I'm just cooking those, of course, to the package directions. While those were cooking, I cooked up about 8 to 10 ounces of linguine pasta. I drained it, saving some of the pasta water in case I need it. And I'm adding in 4 tablespoons of butter to the pasta, just kind of stirring that around, getting that pasta coated so it doesn't stick, as well as it'll help the butter to begin to melt. Then I'm adding in 4 cloves or so of garlic, and I'm also adding in a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. I went ahead and just grated that up finely so that it will like begin to melt really easy with this pasta. I'm also adding in a quarter cup or so of fresh chopped up parsley, and I'm seasoning that with some pepper. I didn't feel I needed salt. You'll want to taste that and make sure. Also, I did add some pasta water, which I didn't show in this clip here, but my pasta water was heavily salted, so it also adds a little bit of that salted flavor. The recipe also doesn't call for this, but I gave it a nice drizzle of olive oil, and I just really like the flavor profile that brings out in this garlic butter pasta. Here is a quick look of all the meatballs and the zucchini and the pasta. I just served this with some buttered bread that I had left over, and this was a very quick and delicious meal. I love the convenience of the chicken meatballs. They were pretty tasty, and I always love myself some good buttered garlic pasta. I'm going to be cutting up some bell peppers here into some strips. I cut a green, an orange, and a red bell pepper. I will have a link in the description box down below to a recipe that I'm kind of going off. This is a super simple recipe, but I'm kind of just using as a guideline for how much I might need like in total, even though they do use hot dogs in the recipe, which is 8, and I'm only using 4, and they're smoked sausages, but they are bigger than your hot dog would be. So I just kind of use what I had. So an orange, a red, and a green, and also some onion. I'm just slicing that up into some like long slices there, and then kind of breaking them up so that they're not all stuck together. And I'm taking some of these Silva brand jalapeno pepper jack smoked sausages. These are amazing. I found them at, I believe, Vons or Albertsons, but I feel like I've seen them maybe at Target as well. So if you can get those, they're definitely delicious. And I'm going to be making these in the air fryer instead of the grill, so I'm just placing those in my air fryer basket, and I'm going to put them in the air fryer at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. This can vary. If you're doing hot dogs this way, it's about 7 minutes, but this did take 10-11 minutes to get them to an internal temperature of like 160, which is what the package said it needed to get to for these. They're like a pork sausage. And while those were there in a pan, I am cooking up my bell peppers and onions in a little bit of oil. You can also do all of this on the grill, but I don't have a grill that's easily accessible. I have to pull it out, and it can be a bit of a hassle for a quick little meal like this. So I just cooked these up until they were softened to my liking. So depending how crunchy you want them, I also try not to move them too much. They'll get a little bit of a like little brown bits on them, which are delicious. And I had to pull my smoked sausages out because the cheese was kind of exploding out of them, but it's okay. They were amazing. I served these with some Southern Sweet Heat barbecue chips, and I just put these on some hot dog buns, your basic hot dog buns. We had this as a simple dinner, and these were super delicious. And that was also in part to the smoked sausages. They really added so much flavor with that jalapeno and pepper jack. I always make my Instant Pot rice by doing equal parts rice and water. I'm using jasmine rice here, and I always add in a couple tablespoons of butter and a little bit of pink Himalayan salt. I pressure cook that on high for 5 minutes, and I let it naturally release its pressure while I'm cooking, but if I don't have the time, I will just quick release. It's perfectly fine that way. Trader Joe's has the best frozen chicken. This is just their Mandarin orange chicken. It is so good, and I am gonna just make that according to package directions, which I'll just give you a quick overview here if you've never had this before. You just fry it up in some oil. I like to get it nice and really crispy. This way when I add the sauce in, it doesn't like soften that crispy texture, because I really love that on orange chicken. Yeah, so you just mix the sauce in and you toss it to coat it, and it's super simple yet so delicious. It's like having like Chinese food, restaurant Chinese food. We pretty much always have this with steamed broccoli and jasmine rice, so I made up this O Organics broccoli florets, and I just added some butter and salt and pepper to that, and I just served that in this nice bowl here with that Mandarin chicken, which is just one of our absolute favorite quick meals. When we are craving Chinese food, it definitely completes that craving. It is just absolutely amazing and so cost efficient. It's only like $5 for that bag, which is so great. On this night, we went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, and they have a Day of the Dead area, so there was like Mexican food and margaritas and things. So we had some tacos there and some grilled corn, and it was delicious. I'm just going to be making up some of this canned menudo. I love the Juanita's brand. If you've never had this, it's different and interesting, but I love hominy and I love all the flavor that this has. And I don't make like homemade menudo, but I will make homemade pozole. But I'm making 2 of the 20, I think they're 25-ounce cans, and then I always add 1 25-ounce can of hominy that I went ahead and rinsed and drained, and I always add a good a heavy pinch of oregano to that, and I'm just heating it up. It's real simple. I like to serve this with cilantro, onions, and lots of lime juice. That's like my favorite way to have it. I also like to warm up flour tortillas and have that with it, but I didn't have that pictured here. But it's really simple, comforting, and delicious. In fact, I already want this again. I'm pretty excited for it to be colder weather because I'm definitely going to be having some more of this. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little bell so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I hope you all are having an amazing day.